doing some of your own designing. Just grab some paper, and it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be to scale. Doing this as a design process. So when you're designing your own fun little critters and creatures and things, you can do anything. Remember that the head is separate from the body, and these wings on this little bat would make arms if that's what you wanted. I love this basic doll body because you can modify and change. I want to make a scarecrow, and so I'm going to make a pumpkin head to go onto, a body like this. It's not hard to do this. This was the very first doll body that I ever made in this pattern. It's just 2 tubes, mattress stitches for the legs, the belly and back, and down the arms. Yeah, you can do anything. So I'm going to make more of a scarecrow. So I think that the tubes, and this is me designing, live designing. I'm going to make my tubes so that it's kind of a blue jean denim color from about the middle down to the end of the legs. And maybe I'll choose some funky color for the top, which would be the belly, the back, and the arms for the sleeves. Then he's going to have a pumpkin head. I'm going to use some straw colored yarn to stitch around to make the little straw bits coming out, and to make kind of a collar of straw. I think that's going to be really cute. And this is what I mean when I say I'm designing. So when I was working on this little bat, before I ever, oh wow, look how close that is to my drawing. I did not have this made when I did the drawing. I drew this up first when I was designing how the little bat would work. And I drew a sketch. Then I figured out what I would have to do, folding the sleeves down to make into the bat cape, putting little embroidered mouth and teeth, using the safety eyes. My scarecrow is going to be similar to this, actually, except that the little jacket isn't going to be separate. It's going to be knitted in, and it's not going to be patchwork and stuff. I can add patchwork type of effects with embroidery. Maybe I'll do that. But first I want to do my little pumpkin head. And I am going to make it so it is the head. This is how I design. So I'm going to, like this, I'm going to make basically a double-ended bag, almost like making a candy ball or something like that, where there's going to be, this is going to be my cast on or cast off edge, like that. There's going to be probably 5 rows, and then I'll put a drawstring, and 5 rows, and I will put a drawstring. And I am going to put waste yarn on this, because the edge is going to be seen, and I want this edge to be clean and sharp. So I will do probably 5 rows of waste yarn with a zip strip. So waste yarn, zip strip, to make the cast on edge easy to come off, and then do 5 rows, do a drawstring, then do however many rows I need to do to make the ball of the pumpkin. And I'm thinking that the whole thing is about 25. You know what? This would work if I was only doing a single layer. I just thought of something. See, this is why you design, why you figure it out as you're going along, so that way you can modify your design as you do it. I'm not going to be able to do this extra drawstring here. I want to have this fluffy bit here at the top, or it's going to have fluffy bit here at the bottom. I think the top is actually going to be closed, and I will put a stick on it. This bit right here, we're going to have waste yarn We're going to have 5 rows, and that's going to be the ruffle around the neck right here. That's the same color as the head. The top of the head is actually this drawstring here. And that's going to pull the top of this pumpkin. See, it's like this. That's going to pull it tight and give us a tiny circle right here in the center where a stick can go in. And then I can use safety eyes. And then I can do a embroidery mouth. I think I like that. That's how I design something. So this was live on the fly, designing how I'm going to make my pumpkin head. So the whole thing is going to be 50. The whole thing's going to be 50 rounds with 5 rounds of waste yarn. Then from there to there is going to be 50. And from here to here is going to be 25. And this is just going to be a drawstring, draw in the cast off or cast on. Ooh, so if I do the drawstring at the cast on and work my way across, I don't need the zip strip because this is the cast off end. Haha. It's always easier to remove the yarn, the waste yarn at the cast off edge. So I've worked out how I'm going to make this little pumpkin. I'm going to start working on it. So I have some pumpkin-y colored yarn, sort of in oranges and yellow. It's from the mandala. I can't remember what colorway it is. It's one of the mandala big packs. And what I did is I went through and wound off each of the colors. So I have, 6 or 7 colors that all work together to do something. But first off, I'm going to do this, which is cast on, and I'm going to do 25 rounds. Be right back. I'm going to use a piece of the same yarn. Just have to make sure it's long enough. And this is going to be my drawstring. Now this yarn is a size 3 yarn. It is not a full, it's a light worsted or a DK weight, which is one of the reasons why I absolutely had to do this as a double layer. You'll see why. When I did a single layer with this yarn, I ended up being able to see my stuffing inside. This pumpkin is not going to have the ridges, the ribbing put onto it. This is just going to be kind of like an orange bag used as the head. Now we're going to go to 50. Actually, no, I'm not going to go to 50 yet. I'm going to go to, 46, 47. Put my drawstring in for the neck. Maybe I'll put a different color for the neck drawstring. Be kind of like using twine or something, So we'll go around. That's the neck drawstring. And then see how far my yarn will go, huh? 50, 51. I don't think, well, it might. I might be shooting myself in the foot here. But I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get one more. And it's so close. So now I need to put some waste yarn on this end. Waste yarn on this end. And now I'm just going to run around and drop this off. Oh, that's pretty. I like that yarn. So this drawstring right here, I need to tuck back to the outside. This drawstring right here, I need to tuck back to the outside. Oh, that's going to be so cute. First up, I can just draw a string in this end because this is going to get tucked inside just like normal, just like making a hat, you know, a double layer hat. So we're going to just stitch through and stitch through. Like that. And now I am going to take that down through the inside. Tuck that inside. So now it looks kind of like a little, almost like a little stovetop hat. That's Mad Hatter. If you wanted to leave something like that as the brim, oh, that would be actually very cute. And now I need to finish off this edge here, and I don't have enough yarn right there. So I'm just going to grab another color. You know, this is a Scarecrow. He doesn't have to have perfect colors. You use what you have when you're making a Scarecrow. So let's see here. I'm just going to finish this with a slip stitch all the way around. Slip, go under, grab the yarn, pull it through, and slip. Under, grab the yarn, pull it through, and slip. See? Meet you back here when this is all done. All right. Remove the waste yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and drawstring this down. Like that. Tie it off. And I'm going to leave some of that string hanging down. Like that. This one right here, I think I'm going to tie off with all the ends. Make sure everything's tied off tight. And I'm going to grab a hold of those, thread them all through my needle, and tidy it up. However tidying up works for you. If it is just tying a knot and dropping a bit of glue on it, go for it. The end that's coming out of this center here, I'm going to tie off to some of those little yarn bits. I'm going to use this yarn to sew the head onto my body. Oh, but yeah, that works. Now what we need to do is go ahead and put some stuffing in there so we can get the eyes on. I just have some polyfill. This was on sale. Use whatever you've got. If you've got like a box full of yarn bits, stuff it with extra yarn bits. Okay, this is the top of the head. This is the front because that's where I have my little tie, and I want that to be in the front. And I am going to draw this down just a little bit. Just don't pull so hard that you end up losing the ends of your drawstring. This is what I was talking about. If you have the double layer, you can't see any of that stuffing in there. And because I'm stuffing it kind of full, it is stretching out and it's giving almost that ribbed type of effect. So cool. Now, eyes. I think I'm going to just go with just black eyes. One. Is that size? Ooh, maybe I'll make them put on 2 different size eyes. Maybe I've got one that's even smaller than that. Have the biggest and the smallest. That's fun. This is not a toy. This is a decoration. So don't use these types of safety eyes for toys that you're going to give to small children. I would definitely embroider. And I am trying to make sure to get some of that stuffing around the stem here so that it gives it a little, whoopsie, gives it a little bit more of something to hold on to it. Now, nope, that's the wrong size. See, these washers, there's different size washers in here, and you've got to match the washer to the stem. Actually, I think for this one, because this is so tiny, I'm going to grab a little piece of felt. And poke just a tiny hole. Just get it started. I don't want to cut a hole. Just barely get it started. Tuck it to the inside. Like this. Now it has to be in front of the stuffing. I'm going to place this eye first. All part of designing, guys. Figuring out how you're going to make it work out. So there. Now put that eyeball in through the knitting. Then find the little hole in my felt. It's not the little hole, but I'll make it be the little hole. There. Just ever so slightly break through that felt. There. And now put the back on it. There are tools to do this, but you know, sometimes you don't have access to that tool. Oh yeah. Wow. I do want this one up a little higher then, or maybe not. Maybe I want it right about there. This one's got a much bigger stem on it, so I'm going to use the big washer. Make sure that you've snapped it down as far as it goes. Draw this in. When you put the eyes on, things happen. The the shaping of the head changes, the position of where things are changes. Okay, so I'm going to double tie that. Now I'm just going to run this around to make sure that this top is kind of closed. Oh, I did want to put a stem in there, didn't I? Cool thing here, felt. Don't have to do anything, just roll it up. You can put a line of glue on it. I'm going to shove that down inside. I should have put that in before I tighten this down. I didn't. Oh well. I do want some glue down inside there. This is just a white glue. Make sure that your end is nice and tightly twisted. You know, I think that top is going to end up just staying like that. I'm not even going to stitch it down. It's kind of like a cinnamon stick. Ooh, that's kind of like a cinnamon stick. So if you wanted to make a fake cinnamon stick, that's how you do it. Just roll up some brown felt, glue it in place. I am going to run this around so I can tighten down around the felt. And that's how you make a pumpkin head scarecrow head. I think I am going to put a mouth sort of like this with the line and then some crosses or X's. And I'm going to use the same yarn that I used for his neck. And the first line that's going across, and I'm leaving this, actually I'm going to tie that off to one of those strings from the inside so I don't pull it through accidentally. There we go. So this, I'm going to just do a back stitch, just like that. Go across. You know, having this knitting on here, having these knit channels and purl channels as you're going across is really cool, because then you can use those as marking spots to be able to be consistent with your stitches. Like that. Like that. Or not be consistent, because that's part of the fun too. Make it as wonky as you want it. I think I want one more stitch going outside of his little mouth there. Like that. And then I'm going to come back out through the center here. Tie that off. It's not going to come out. Oh, wow. I like this little pumpkin guy. This little pumpkin head is so creepy. But let's see, how did we do? There's the design. Here's the pumpkin head. Now, if you wanted to, you could use buttons instead of safety eyes, and that would work really well. I'm excited to get the body done. I'm not going to show you making it. It's a standard body. I'm designing again. I'm designing his clothes. 25 would be low riders. Let's go 26, 27, 28, 29. That'd be kind of high. 29. 30. We'll go 30. That'd be half. This is going to get started with waste yarn and a zip strip on both of these on the cast on end. And then the working yarn will be put on. I will work 30 rounds with the jeans color, and then 30 rounds with whatever the shirt color ends up being. I don't know. Maybe not that blue. So let's see. How'd we do? I think that this little guy turned out really, really good. Here's the general design, and this is what turned out. I think I did pretty well. I could go in and do embroidery, sew buttons, do all kinds of little things. But I'm really happy with how he is right now. I hope that you will go and start doing some of your own designing. Just grab some paper, and it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be to scale. Just start designing up some ideas, and then get out your knitting machine and some scrap yarn and just start making things. The more you make, the more you learn, the more easy it is to change a pattern or change a design. So take this basic doll body and start making your own creations. Look at that. I've already got all of these guys. There's going to be more coming. Thanks a lot for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this. Remember, click that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, and come back for more. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.